Hi, I'm Colin. Welcome to Learn Somatics. Today we're going to get into walking exercise 2. We did walking exercise 1 previously, the knees dropping in. If you've not tried that, you can go back and do that one first. If you have, you can get into this one, walking exercise 2. This is a little bit more subtle and can be a little bit trickier for people to get a feel for, but once you get it, it's actually quite easy. But a smaller movement and a bit more subtle, so just be prepared that it's not going to be a massive movement. So as always, get ready, lay down, and we'll go through it. So walking exercise 2, as always, we're laying on our back. We're going to bend our legs. In walking exercise 1, we had the feet wide apart. In walking exercise 2, we want to have our feet about hip width apart, just like feet underneath our hips, just like we have them when we actually do walk. And then we're going to lie back. Okay. So we're going to start with this left side again. And all we're going to be doing is pressing a little bit through into this foot, this left foot. And as we press into that left foot, letting this side of our back be relaxed. And just notice now it picks the hip up a little bit and it actually sends the knee forward. By pressing into the foot, you can see the left knee has traveled a little bit forward of the right knee. And then from there, we just let it come down. So you can see what I mean, it's a much smaller movement. So we're just going to try that again. We're just gently pressing down into the foot so that the hip lifts up a little bit and the knee travels that little bit forward. And then slowly releasing. We want the back to stay completely relaxed when we do this. If we don't want to have our back arched, we won't be able to do it. We don't want to have our back flattened, it'll affect it as well. We just want to be the back at rest. So we're just going to gently press through the foot. If we're relaxed through the trunk, the left side of the trunk can kind of lengthen a little bit so that the knee can travel forward. Let's try that a couple of times, just gently pressing into the foot so the knee can travel forward. You're going to feel your hip tip a little bit. You're going to feel the weight go a little bit into your right hip as you're pressing to your left foot. And again, keep your other side knee pointing forward, because obviously when we walk, both knees point forward. So we want to keep that pattern, or that setup as we do this. And just gently. So the low back is relaxed. We're pressing into our left foot. The knee is traveling very so slightly forward. The left hip is lifting up a little bit. The right hip and the back, we're feeling the weight shift over there. And then slowly back down. So it's just that gentle rocking of the hip to the right as we press into the left foot. If you try to do this and you're holding on tight in your trunk, you're going to be going nowhere. So just let your belly be soft, back be soft, waist be soft. It's just that gentle pressing down into the left foot, left knee goes forward. So hopefully you can see that that's quite a small movement. It's fairly subtle, but it's profound at the same time. Into the left foot, knee travels forward, slowly back. One last time. Just press into the left foot, left knee travels forward, weight shifts into the right hip a little, left hip just lifts a small bit, left back just lifts a small bit, and then back down. Alright, once we've done a few repetitions, we can lie flat again and see how that feels. And again, that just gives a sort of a subtle change down this left side that we've been lifting. The left pelvis sinks a bit deeper into the table or into the floor. Okay, once we've had a brief assessment to see what's different, we set ourselves up again, and this time it's going to be the right foot. So as I press with my right foot, my right hip lifts a little and my knee goes forward. So don't think about, I'm going to reach forward with my knee. Just press with the foot and let your hip lift up a little bit and the knee will go forward all by itself. You put your hands on the front of your bony part of your hip, and as you press your right foot down, you'll feel the right side of the hip lift up and the left hip go down. Again, keep your knees facing the same direction, they're facing forward. Let your back be relaxed. It's just that small movement of the hip turning over a little bit as you press into the foot. You can't do this movement if you're tight in the back, belly, waist. So this is a movement that needs to come after all the other videos. So if you landed here, this is your first video, go back and look at the others. It'll really help. So we're pressing through that right foot, right hip lifts up, left hip goes down. Smallish movements. It feels very nice through the lower back and pelvis. Okay. To the right side now, we can lay out flat. And again, just check what's changed. And for me, I'm feeling nice grounded weightedness on my right side pelvis now as well. So the whole pelvis is starting to feel really nicely planted on the table. Hopefully, if you were able to follow those instructions, you're getting something similar at your end. Okay. Knees up again. Walking involves left, right, left, right. So we're going to alternate back and forth here with those two movements. So remember, make sure your back is just relaxed. You're not in an arch and you're not in a flatten. Your back is just at rest. Belly's at rest. Everything's at rest. So then when you press through your left into your left foot, left hip picks up a little bit, right hip goes down, and you let that come down, you press into your right hip or right foot. And you just rock back and forth. And there's just that fairly small back and forth of the hips and of the knees as you transfer the weight to the right foot, and then into the left foot, and then into the right foot, and then into the left foot. And you'll feel you're just rocking back and forth across the back of your pelvis. When you press your left foot down, your right pelvis at the back goes into the table a little. And when you press with your right foot, your left pelvis goes back into the table a little. Press into the left foot, left hip lifts a little. Press into the right foot, right hip lifts a little. Just go back and forth. This gets into all the muscles between your ribs and your pelvis, your low back, waist, belly, and also a little bit into the hips, hamstrings, adductors, inner thighs, everything there. Just go back and forth once or twice more. See if you can make it smooth, make it coordinated. And then when you're ready, just come to rest. Lay out flat. And see how that feels. Again, if you like to walk, you like to take walks, like to hike, anything like that, walk in exercise 1, follow it up with this one, maybe some Washrag, and you should feel ready to go climb a mountain.